as I kept going to trade shows and I kept learning more about it, one of the things that kept coming up, I had planned on doing a business plan for a small independent coffee house. A lot, and this is again in Seattle in the late 1990s, way back then. And one of the things I learned was that a few people were doing roasting, their own roasting, in shop roasting, a lot of their own coffee. So I, and I'm talking to different people at the trade show, and I kept learning more and more about it, and I thought this is really something I should look at. So as I kept learning more and more, and reading more, and talking to more people, I thought this is something I want to do. I couldn't do it at the space that I ended up picking, but I knew I wanted to do it. And I had figured that I would probably open a second coffee house, and that would have a roaster, a small roaster, and then I could do some of my own roasting. And that didn't really happen. And lots of things happen once you open your door. I signed my lease the day before 9/11, literally. The economy on 9/10 was one thing. On 9/11, it was completely different. I was next door to a theater that had 8 to 10 shows a year in. It had less than one show a year. That's half of my business plan right there. So obviously, a lot of things change fast, you know. But I didn't forget the roasting aspect, and I knew that by roasting my own coffee, once I got over the learning curve, that I could probably do really well. The coffee is really fresh. You actually shouldn't drink coffee immediately out of the roaster. A day or two is better because it's degassing. It's giving off nitrogen. And I've done it, and I've done it with customers, so I know like this theory that I heard actually works. I've given customers coffee I had just roasted, and I've given them the same coffee the next day, and they liked it much better. So, there's my little test. And it is fresh, and you can do different things, and you can buy beans that aren't necessarily available. Here's a particular farm, and when you start talking to people, like the importer that I deal with, they know who is growing these coffee beans that they're selling. One or first or second hand, they intimately are aware of what's going on in that country and that farm or those farms or that cooperative. And I have a coffee from Honduras that's spectacular, and the story behind it is so interesting. Here, getting it from them, it's really like it's the first time these coffee farmers in this area of Honduras ever were paid right this year, were ever paid a fair wage for their coffee. It's a small cooperative. Only 10 farms in this little cooperative are certified fair trade and organic. They're all fair trade. Only 10 are certified organic right now. Out of those 10 farms, one is a female-owned farmer. All those people are getting paid proper wages. Like, that is, and the coffee is incredible. My coffee comes from one of 10 farms, or a collection of those 10. And, you can almost see these people's faces. It's great. And it's really delicious. I haven't met one person who didn't like it. And I've roasted it a bit on the light side. And I know it's good because I know there's a couple that buy my coffee all the time. They always buy a dark roast. And they are now drinking this Honduran coffee that's a little light. And they don't like light roast coffee. And they're getting something out of that. And it's not the story, it's a great feeling to know that you can do something. And that's kind of what I was getting as I would talk to different people at these trade shows. There's you play around a little bit, and you have an incredible control on playing with quality. the way you roast, a really hot oven over a long period, over a short period of time, a very slow, cool oven over a longer period of time, you get different flavors. And out of the same bean, you can roast the same bean 3 different ways, and you can have 3 different flavors. And the flavor, it's not like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. They're subtle. You know, it's like vanilla, French vanilla, I don't know, something else. But that's incredible. It's a wonderful feeling that you can do something like that. I love it. And that's how I got to where I am. And now my problem, it's kind of a good problem, is I'm using a shop roaster for production, and I need a bigger machine. And so there's some, challenges with that. And especially when we're in the middle of a depression, and it's not going to change overnight. But I'm psyched. I feel like I'm on the right path.